So they are back, and they are back in this cool new stealth black color. This is the new NH-U12A Chromax CPU cooler from Noctua. The performance has always been great with Noctua coolers, so I expect it to be great this time as well. Hey guys, my name is Vlad and welcome to my channel. In today's video I will show you how this cooler performs in gaming scenarios and working scenarios, but first let's see what's in this box. So right out of the box you will be presented with an accessories box, which by the way has all the contents labeled directly on it, so you know what to expect inside. So as with all the Noctua coolers, SecuFirm 2 mounting kits are available for both Intel and AMD processors. It's also worth mentioning that this one supports Intel's latest LGA 1700 mounting. So if you have the older non-Chromax model, you can always send Noctua an email asking them for the new mounting kit and they will provide it free of charge, which is amazing and honestly a great gesture by the companies. So that is why I have a huge respect for them. You will also find Noctua NH-1 thermal compound in the box, and this is considered to be one of the better ones on the market. Never had an issue with it and I highly recommend them. You also get this Y-splitter PWM fan cable, so you can connect both of the fans on a single fan header if your motherboard does not have two CPU fan headers. You will also get a low noise adapter cable to run the fan at lower speed, but honestly this is absolutely not necessary as these fans are amongst the quietest on the market, rated at only 22.6 decibels and even less with included low noise adapter coming at 18.8 decibels. And of course, here is the CPU cooler itself. It's not massive like D15 for example, this one comes in a smaller form, but that does not mean that it's not as powerful as D15, actually you will see the results in a minute. So it retains the cooling power of a 140mm fan in a 120mm fan package. Examining the cooler closer, we can see some interesting design ideas. Firstly, the fans. These are NF812x25 PWM 120mm fans and they are not your regular fans. You can immediately spot that they do not look as ordinary Noctua fans we see on almost every cooler. These are specially designed for better airflow and static pressure. Secondly, the fins of the fan are also differently designed and are so close to the frame of the fan. And this is the part of the Noctua's design. Less air escapes through there and this also creates better air pressure toward the heatsink itself. These fans are rated at 2000 RPM, but do not be alarmed, they are only 22.6 decibels loud because of the mentioned design approach and can be lowered if you plan to use a low noise adapter cable to 18.8 decibels. Trust me, it is not needed as even at full speed they are not that audible. Third thing is the heatsink itself, which is more dense than any other Noctua model. Even this small in size, it's almost as heavy as D15, coming at 1.22 kg versus 1.3 kg on D15 with both fans on it. The dimensions are 158mm tall, with and without the fans as they do not protrude at all, width of 125mm and depth of 58mm. At the base we have 7 nickel-plated copper heat pipes running all the way to the nickel-plated mirror finish base. Base and pipes are soldered together for better heat dissipation and this is what gives it the great performance. So what is also great about this cooler is that you can populate all 4 RAM sticks, even with taller RAM sticks, just like I did on my motherboard behind me, because the cooler itself will not block RAM sticks at all. You can further customize the cooler with covers and colored anti-vibration rubbers, and I'll show you how easy it is to install them. First, the installation of the cooler itself is so easy. You put the plastic spacers on the board, SecuFirm 2 brackets on top of them and secure them with the included screws. Apply something between rice and pea size of thermal compound on your CPU and put the heatsink on top. Fasten the 2 screws on each side in equal turns and all the way till the end until they stop, as they have a spring and a stop point so you can't overdo them. As for the colored vibration pads on the fan corners, these are so easy to remove, just pop the old one out and insert the new one in. As for the cover, this one is easy to install. First you have to remove the fans, put the grey plastic insert on top of the heatsink and use the metal pin to secure it to the heatsink. This is so easily done and requires no force at all. After that, put the fans back on and put the metal cover on the top and it will just click in place as it's held by magnets. So for the tests, I will be comparing this CPU cooler to the bigger brother, the D15, and also to a 360 AIO liquid cooler. All tests were performed on a Ryzen 9 5900X CPU, manually set to 1.3 volts. So the heat output is consistent across all the tests and done in the fractal torrent case. Ambient temperature was 24 degrees Celsius. So while gaming, and heavily depending on the title as well, average temperature was 63 degrees Celsius, with the CPU hitting the 5 GHz mark almost constantly. D15 was better by just 1 degree, while an AIO was better for about 3 degrees. But where things are getting far more interesting are the absolute worst case scenario stress tests, so using AIDA64 with all the stress tests included, U12A was holding super fine at 78 degrees, D15 went to 84 degrees and AIO was at 74 degrees, which is to be expected as the water needs more time to heat up to its maximum point. All the tests were run for 30 minutes. So while gaming, the noise of the whole PC was at some 37 to 38 decibels, but when at max they ramp up to 45 decibels, which again is not that loud considering that the CPU coolers run at 2000 RPM. D15 might have quieter operation, but it lacks in terms of the cooling power. Considering that it's a much older cooler now, this was to be expected, and also it can be a bit cumbersome to mount it in certain cases, and it can also have problems with RAM clearance. So this is why I highly recommend that you get the U12A Chromax version and also covers for it to spice up the looks of it even more. It can be obtained for $120 on Amazon at the time of the review, and the link will be in the description if you want to purchase it. The covers will set you back another $20 and the rubber inserts are yet another $9. Both the cover and rubber pads are optional, but a worthy accessory. So yeah, if you don't have a space in your case for an AIO and you want to go with a premium air CPU cooler instead, there is no doubt which cooler to pick. So huge thanks goes to Noctua for sending this cooler and also the vibration pads and the covers for both U12A and the D15. You guys are so awesome. And also you guys for watching this video. If you have any comments, feel free to ask them in the comments. You know the drill by now. Sub to the channel, like the video, share the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.